Greetings and welcome all to another edition of Rise and Chai. I am one of the three hosts of this actual show, Leo Rockwell. And thank you for basically being on here and actually joining us today. A lot to actually cover. We're going to try to cover it, within an hour or so. We're going to actually cover this as quickly as possible, but a lot that needs to be talked about, especially a lot of stuff that's, really, really floating around right now, and it's happening in the community, and especially when it comes to the film community. But show wouldn't be what it is right now without my amazing co-host, Marvelous Leslie in the building. So glad to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Lael. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good today. Today is it's Thursday, Friday, and then we got the weekend, so I'm happy about that.
100%. I'm cheering as well. The weather has been shit. It's been
Really?
wet. It's been muggy. Like we had a beautiful weekend that had just gone. I got so much sun. I looked like a Jaffa. It was great. Um, but today is really shite. So I hope it turns around for the weekend coming. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a heck of a day over here as well. But
Yeah.
we know a lot is actually happening. And the weather is been really, really nutty. So, we'll see how it's going to actually pan out long term.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
getting cold now there, isn't it?
yeah, it's
It's getting
freezing.
cold.
Yeah, well, it's not freezing, but the temperature just keeps going up and down, which is making a lot of people sick. So this is where we are right
Really?
now. In most cases, yeah, it ends up,
Mm,
in most cases it can be, it'd go from like 50, 51 degrees all the way down to 30 and then up to 50. It's just like really, really inconsistent. And a
yeah.
lot of people have been getting sick because of it. I was even sick for a few days myself. So, it,
Everyone's coming down with something. And Rich
yeah,
has COVID now,
he
bless
has
him,
COVID.
and his
Yeah.
family.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's where Rich is, guys. Yeah. We're
Yeah. Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
turns.
Yeah.
Not with
Taking
COVID,
turns.
but with being present for the stream. Bless
So
him. They'll
definitely.
be fine.
So prayers for Rich and his family. But
Yeah.
he's gonna pull through. I already know that. He said everybody's fine. They're just dealing with the COVID. So we would
Yeah.
definitely see him next week and also on Collectors Lounge. So definitely can't wait to see that. But yeah, let me address the chat while we're actually here. We have
Mm.
Maniac Collects in the building, Primetime Reviews, AJ Agrusa. Mikey Lito is here with us. So thank you for being here. We got Cruising through space in the building. Love the name. That's Beam in the building. We got the Empire Strikes Again. Windman 42 and Feezy Figs is in the building. So thank you actually for being here as always. And I always want to address the chat by letting them know that right now we are full-fledged going forward with the Christmas initiative. Again, all proceeds, super chats, everything that we actually get goes towards such a worthy cause and making sure that families and kids can actually have a beautiful Christmas. So thank you for actually being on board. And thank you for
Amazing.
joining us. Now, there's a shakeup. We might as well say there's basically a shakeup.
There's a few. There's a few shakeups, Lael.
Yeah, there's a few
Let's be more
shakeups.
specific.
Yeah, like there's basically a huge shakeup right now that we have to basically talk about.
Oh yeah.
And something that really is okay. So I want to preface it by saying this. Okay, we already
Mm-hmm.
know, and the news is basically out. That's in Wonder Woman 3 has been canceled.
Mm, yeah.
It's no longer, going through, and that's with Patty Jenkins. And we don't know whether or not uh again if Gal Gadot is going to basically be on board. We have zero idea about that. We don't know if it's going to be a thing. That's one of the biggest problems. It's not
Mm,
basically a problem, it's just where we are right now. You know what I mean? Where we
yeah.
are, what we come to expect, what we want, or information that we would actually like to know. I mean, again,
Mm,
we're sort of left in the dark as to what's going to go on and what's going to cycle through and what we're going to see going forward in the DCU. Now, here's the thing. I'm all for a fresh reboot, a fresh start. And I'm gonna play devil's
yeah.
advocate, but I'm gonna also voice my opinion about what I think,
Mm-hmm.
um, and how, anybody, okay, I'll put it to you this way. anybody and everybody knows that I am a super duper duper fan of Gal Gadot and her stint at Wonder Woman.
She's
I
queen.
I loved her portrayal. I love her portrayal as the character. Really do.
Mm,
I think that she brings depth. I think that she brings energy. I think that she makes her. You in my eyes right now, I can't see anybody else portraying that character but her
no.
because she's done it now for a while. And I understand that there has to be a level of change. I get that. I get all that.
Mm,
um I get that basically the only way for you to reboot a franchise or to basically make things better, and he has to right the ship accordingly, because again, thinking about the simple fact that number one, James Gunn has come on to do it, and Safran have come on to do a job. And their job is to make sure that they kind of right the ship, and especially when it
mm,
comes to DC. We know that there is somewhat of a stigma behind them right now, of
yeah.
failure, of level of
Mm,
failure and not getting things right. It's been tainted, like a lot of controversy with directors, actors, so on, the way you want to actually say it. I get that you want to do a fresh start, a reboot. Okay.
mm,
Um, what I think though, and again, if as much as I love Gal Gadot, as much as I love her take on Wonder Woman, as much
mm,
as I literally want her to really still be there and to be around, it's hard to really say where I sit and whether or not, again, this is something that we have to understand from a director, or basically from, not just mainly from a directorial, but from, a company itself. If you have a
mm.
franchise, whereas each, every film that you basically put out hasn't, and here's the thing, what, Les, the biggest problem is numbers. It's a numbers game.
It
That's what it
is.
is.
Agreed.
It's like the art takes a back seat
Mm,
to financial gain, and I understand that financially, we basically have to have there, you have to have films that are going to be successful. That's the only way that a studio itself can survive. We get all that, and I
mm,
understand that. My biggest problem is, though, is that, for instance, Black Adam, why would you allow that film to come out, right? Why would you also allow them to cameo Henry Cavill, have him go on his whole tirade, or not tirade, but just this campaign of letting people know that Superman is back, right?
yeah.
That
Agreed.
he will be back as Superman. I mean, he was
Mm.
on basically the Good Morning America, you
He
know,
was telling everyone.
telling everybody that he was
Yeah.
coming back as Superman, right?
Yeah. And
Then,
he even sat down and said, "I'm really looking forward to sitting down with James Gunn and having long conversations with him."
mhm. And
Wow.
on top of that, we find out not even a week after he was on that show that he is no longer Geralt from The Witcher.
Mm,
So
yeah.
again, he was replaced there. So everybody assumed that at that point, yeah, well, it's going to be serious about his stint with Superman. Now, here's the thing. I want to preface this by saying that could still happen. There could be
It
things
could.
going on that we don't know. Just because we're not, or possibly what they're saying is we're not going to get a Man of Steel 2.
Mm,
Maybe they're scrapping the name Man of Steel 2. Maybe they're
maybe.
scrapping the name Wonder Woman 2. Maybe it's going to be a totally different iteration of these characters, that the actor and actresses will still basically be around, but it's
Mm,
just a complete reboot. We don't know yet. But I think, and in my opinion, there has to be a level of control, and they have to come out and say something, which he has, but they got to say much more, because I'm telling you, Les, if they don't, it's going to be a complete shit show, and
it is.
fans are going to let them know, and literally whatever you put out will probably be tainted, because everybody wanted Cavell back.
They
What are
did.
your thoughts on that?
They did. Look, I mean, it's uh, where to start, you know? I mean, it's all well and good wanting to reboot the franchise, make it fresh, and fix past mistakes. But the thing is, Henry Cavill wasn't one of those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. Gal Gadot wasn't one of those mistakes either, in my opinion. I think she owned it. I think she did a great job. I think, it's funny because Wonder Woman 3 being cancelled, there's a bit of controversy there. A lot of people are saying, well, the second one sucked, so we're not really that disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But to have her leave the franchise completely as the character, I think would be very hurtful to the fan base who have come
Yeah.
to know and love Gal Gadot as
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. I loved the first film. I
I
love
loved
her
it.
as Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had my heart from the very beginning, and I went out and impulsively bought like 4 action figures from the movie franchise, even though they weren't that great, to be honest. But it pulled on my heartstrings, and
Mm-hmm.
it got an emotional buy out of me. So kudos. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I think what DC are doing now is they're teasing. They're teasing and they're being very speculative. They're causing the fan base to speculate,
Mm-hmm.
and they're causing a lot of premature boycotting because the fans
Mm-hmm.
are upset about this news. So you can't give half of news. You can't do that. You either keep your mouths shut
Mm-hmm.
or you reveal the full information to your audience and your fan base, because what they've done now is incredibly riot inducing
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the DC fans. It's
Yeah.
done them absolutely no favors. I seriously doubt it's a publicity stunt, because the brand speaks for itself. They don't need a publicity stunt to get the word out there. People spread that news like wildfire. Like, look how
Mm-hmm.
fast this came out. Look how fast
Mm-hmm.
this spread.
Mm-hmm.
So they would
And in
not
major
do a
trades as
publicity
well.
stunt. Exactly. They would not do a PR stunt like this. They wouldn't. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not conducive. It's hurtful, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, to
Mm-hmm.
them, to
Mm-hmm.
the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was wise. If they are thinking of getting rid of Henry Cavill, that's really shit.
Mm-hmm.
And what they shouldn't have done with Henry is promise him something verbally and then give him something completely different in writing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really dishonest and shitty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 3 being cancelled, I'm not so fussed about if they can bring us something different. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I'm like you. I'm on the fence with the whole Wonder Woman 3 thing, because at the same time, I would have liked to have seen a Wonder Woman 3 so that they can redeem the story from the second one. That was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah.
So the third one, I think could have saved the Wonder Woman
Mm-hmm.
name in a way. But yeah, this is difficult. It's difficult to take on board for a
It
lot
is.
of people.
It is.
And communication goes a long way. That's all I can say, to be honest.
Definitely. We got a Kevin. Thank you so much for this. We got Kevin Bohr coming through. Hi, everyone. Here is something that can help some children have a better Christmas. It is the little things we do in life that can have a huge impact on life of someone else. Thank you for the effort to help others. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Sweet.
And this is what we're here for. That's what definitely we're here for. I like I said, every year I do the same campaign, and that's just to give back, because I think we need to do more of that. So definitely, we got a $5 super chat by Mikey Lito. Thank you for that. I guess Kathleen Kennedy doesn't look so bad. Re Rogue Squadron, Wonder Woman 84 was horrendous, and apparently Wonder Woman 3 wasn't much better. Best wishes to the kids. Thank you so much, man. And here's the thing. And Mikey Lito, that was my point that I was going to actually bring up next.
Yeah.
We say this, and yes, we may be sort of upset at the simple fact that moving forward, Wonder Woman 3 isn't. Now, here's the thing. You turn in a script, because we know that basically that's what not Kathleen Kennedy. I keep forgetting her name.
I keep forgetting her name too.
Patty Jenkins.
That's the one.
So Patty Jenkins basically turns in the script, right? So she turns that script, and it was basically her treatment. She gives them, and they read it. It didn't work out for what they wanted in their vision. Now, what people have to also remember is, as successful as the first film was, the second film was abysmal. It was terrible. It was something that really shouldn't have been made, like literally. And it went straight to Disney. I mean, HBO Max. It
Yeah.
was a film that should not have ever been made. It was terrible. It literally out of place. Like again, it was cold. It was so convoluted. The story was terrible. Um, like literally, it made even like them bringing back, Chris Pine's character made
Ugh.
no sense at all. And at the same time, you could look at it from a certain if you look at it from a certain point of view and vantage point, that man that he inhabited and that she seduced sort of was taken advantage of in a sense.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yes. If roles were reversed, if the guy did that to the girl, oh my God,
It would be a
feminists would kick off.
shitstorm. It would be a shitstorm. And that man was literally taken advantage of. So that story, and I can't even believe that story was greenlit, but it was.
Exactly.
And it was terrible. You know what I mean? So again, this is coming from the same woman that, mind you, the first film that came out was influenced by Zack Snyder. She didn't have complete control over that film. You know what I mean? And we got a half decent film that made money and it was successful. And it marked her as an action star. And she did such a
Yes.
great job with it. You know what I mean?
Good.
Going into this third film after the shitstorm that we got from the second film, I would expect them to cancel it. I really, really do. I expected them to
100%.
cancel it. But
Yes.
this is my thing is Gal Gadot should not have to suffer because of that.
Agreed.
Now, I was watching the John Campea show earlier, and they were talking about this. Now, there were certain things I agree with as far as the reboot, but I don't agree with recasting. This is my problem. I don't think that it is the actor's responsibility, and they should shelter the responsibility or blame of another person's actions. Such actions as the director, the writer, and anyone who even greenlit to produce this film. Like
Yes.
they're the ones. The actors shouldn't shelter that blame. Now, I know that people are going to say, well, the biggest problem right now is the simple fact that you can't get that bad taste out of your mouth, and they carry a mark based on Zack Snyder, based on his universe, based on what we got from the old regime. I get that, but you can still right the ship and rewrite the story and make these characters different. You can do so. It's something that can definitely be. I don't agree, because the thing is, it's going to be even more confusing if you recast it. Look, James Gunn didn't. Okay, so let's think about this, right? James Gunn didn't direct the first Suicide Squad, but did he recast Harley Quinn? No, he didn't.
No.
He didn't. He did not recast Harley Quinn. She came
Smart
back
choice.
as the same daggone character, right? So why
Absolutely.
can't he do the same thing for Cavill or a Gal Gadot? You know, why can't you
Absolutely.
basically do that? And even still, if you want to redo it, you don't have to do it. And I agree. It doesn't have to be like a singular film, a standalone. You can do it as an ensemble film. Make the Justice League. I get that. I definitely
Absolutely.
get that. You know what I mean? But it just doesn't really make sense to me that, you would get rid of these particular characters, because now, like, literally, you're going to have to reshape everything all the way down to even Peacemaker would have to be reshaped.
Yes, absolutely. They will make the job harder for themselves. And what's more is that they will make the audience and the fan base kind of resent possible people who are recast because they're still so in love with the previous choices. And I completely agree with what MBD Dyson 829 said. I love Gal and Henry in these roles. Create a new vision, but keep them in the roles.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's the safest alternative. It's a reliable alternative because the fans are already in love with the characters. Just exactly do the same approach with Suicide Squad. It worked. It worked. People preferred the second one. I certainly did.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%.
It can be done.
More.
It can be done.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. This is the crazy part, right? So we know Man of Steel 2 is scrapped. The idea of it is scrapped. Wonder Woman is scrapped. That Wonder Woman 3 is scrapped. They're saying that basically after Aquaman, this is the last film. This is the last Aquaman that we're going to get. Everybody so far saying it's the last Shazam that we're going to actually get. Black Adam is in
Mm.
limbo right now because again, it was a financial what they want to actually cause a financial waste that it didn't really make profit as much as they thought it would. He's saying it did, they're saying it didn't. So that whole thing is convoluted.
Yes,
Um, we have the
agreed.
Blue Beetle that is actually going to drop right soon. We have
Mm.
Flash that's been moved up by 10 days. They're still keeping that film. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
here's the one thing okay, so everybody sings the praise of James Gunn, right?
Mm.
He gave us the Suicide Squad. He gave us the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's fine. We get that. But a lot of comedic tones in every film, to me, it's like it becomes a trope. You feel me? So I
Yeah.
think that again, his touches on film, sometimes it's there, sometimes it could be a hit and miss because there were even certain things about the Suicide Squad, the second one, that were cool, that worked. There are certain things about the second one that did not work at all.
Mm.
You know what I mean? All things subjective. But what I'm saying is not everything has to be, rainbows and funny and all that all the time. You don't have to
True.
inject that. Now, I do get it. We needed a brighter version of Superman
Mm.
because basically we need a Superman that brings us hope. That brings us hope
Agreed.
that the people love and they look towards to say, look, that is a level of hope and he stands for something,
Mm.
truth and justice, and for everyone. You know what I mean? So that's what we basically need.
Mm.
But to recast Henry Cavill, who was extremely passionate about this, come on, come on, like
Yeah.
literally, and like Mikey Lito, exactly, bro. Holy Waititi,
What?
exactly. Taika Waititi, exactly. That was a disaster. That is it, definitely when you basically take a director and let them run rampant over a film and do exactly what they want,
They go too
unchecked,
far.
they go too far,
They
especially if
go
they
too
want to make
far.
comedy. So
Yeah.
again, I get it, but it doesn't have to. But again, they can retool, they can reboot. I get the whole idea. Look, if you want to scrap the whole Zack Snyder verse, go ahead and do it. That's
Mm.
fine. Start fresh. That's what you can do. It's within your control to do so. But at the same time, though, the characters or the actors shouldn't have to suffer because of it,
They
especially if they did
shouldn't.
the best that they could, especially considering the simple fact that Henry Cavill only got Man of Steel. He didn't get a chance at the two. We saw him in an ensemble film, but we know what he can do as Superman, and he's great at it.
Yes,
So,
we want more Cavill time. We want more solo Cavill time, like
mhm,
for his own story, his own villains. You know, that's what everyone wants.
mhm.
It's what
I
we
don't know.
need.
I don't know. He needs a good run. He definitely needs a
He
good
does.
run, and I think that we'll possibly get it. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm.
Definitely see down the road. Whether or not it's going to be exciting or whatever. I just think that we have to trust the process. Trust that hopefully they know what they're doing. And I think
Mm.
Gunn did actually come out and do some damage control and say, hey, a lot of what was said was true. A lot of it was not true. A lot of
Yeah.
it we haven't decided whether or not it is true or not. You know what I mean? So there's a
Mm.
lot that he did come out and say, that they're kind of retooling some things, and I get it. Yeah, I get it. There's only so much
Yeah.
that you can actually say. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, we just got to kind of wait after that and see where it goes. But again,
Mm.
whatever happens is going to happen. We just got to kind of wait it out and see. So fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Yeah, what were you going to say?
And a lot of people just let their imaginations run wild as well with assumption, and it's like, oh, what if this, what if that, just
Mhm.
whoa.
It's
Cool
always
it
the what
down.
if factor. What will
Yeah,
we see? What is going to happen? What will we
absolutely.
get here? What. So we,
Mm,
and I'm good with that. I can understand. So I don't
yeah,
know. Just have to kind of wait and see and how it's going to
exactly.
basically pan out.
Mm,
There have been some changes and some things, and we knew that. Now, mind you, next I think is what they say next week is going to be Saffron and Gunn's pitch to Zaslav next week as to their take on the 10-year plan of the DC
mm,
universe. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So we have to kind of wait and see how that's going to play out. But I think there's going to be some announcements, or there's going to be some damage control between now and then, because they know, yeah, we got to say something, because maybe they didn't even want this information to come out the way it is until they did like an actual press on it. But we just, I guess, got to wait and see. But I'm hoping that both Gal and Cavill will have a place. I really do hope that. I hope it's not a situation whereas we lose those characters, because I really, really do love Gal Gadot's portrayal of Wonder Woman, and I love Cavill's portrayal. I even like, to be quite honest, I even like Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, I
Sorry,
love it.
Lau, can you give me a sec? Bear
Yeah.
won't stop.
Take your time. Take your time.
Read from the chat. I'll be like 2 minutes. Okay?
Take your time. I'll actually go ahead and read the chat real quick. So we got Blitz 0065 in the building. Thank you for being here. He says, I'm not particularly excited. Let me see here. Let me bring you in here. I'm not particularly excited about James Gunn, to be honest. I like my DC dark and dry. DC just can't get it together, unfortunately. Bro, here's the thing, bro. Like, and I agree with you to a sense, because if you think about it, like, I'm looking at it from a comic book aspect of it. And again, these adaptations that we actually get cinematically are going to be there. It's going to be a separate interpretation. So it's not going to always be the same, what we want and how we want to see it. I get that. But I do think there has to be some serious tones. It doesn't have to always be serious. It has to be a mixed bag, but it doesn't have to be completely comedic. You know what I mean? It definitely doesn't have to be that way. So I do agree with you on that. As far as James Gunn, I think people were betting on him based on a few films that he was going to be the savior of the DCU. Yeah. You know what I mean? And again, I'm always, you have to prove to me how that's going to go. So we'll see. Jason Himwright says, the budgets for these movies no longer make sense. Starting over on a small scale may be the only way to make them profitable. Good point. That's a good point. I mean, that can definitely be it. We could possibly see that. So maybe Dyson, Suicide Squad made half as much as Black Widow with a similar dual platform release. He didn't hit it big with his one shot at DC. He should cut others some slack. Yeah, you're true. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Yeah. His first take on that movie, they didn't make it wasn't successful. It wasn't at all. And it was during the pandemic. So again, like, let's be real. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? If you're going to cut out others, and if this is basically how you're doing and retooling, you might want to go with some of these writers and get better writers, because that's what it is. We need better writers for these films. Don't just put it out just because you think it's going to generate a certain level of revenue if the story doesn't make sense. Agreed. The story has to make sense to bring people in. And if that story doesn't make sense, then this is where we sit. So I just don't know. We got Raleigh in here. I just don't get why cameo Henry Cavill for no reason. I would have had a faceless cameo than give me false hope. And that's just the way it's been for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's the way it's been for a lot of people. A lot of people were basically upset at the simple fact that, again, you let Cavill do this. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, when he made this announcement, Zaslav was still the head. He was actually the newly head of Warner Brothers in DC. You know what I mean?
He was.
And this announcement was made well before the Gunn announcement. So if you knew, and they had to have known at that time that James Gunn was coming in the fray. Now, here's the thing. I say this and I'll move on from it. This is what's interesting. I have to look at it this way as well. Gal Gadot the other day came out on her Instagram post, talking about how she loved Wonder Woman. It was ironic how she loved Wonder Woman. And, it was such an amazing journey. And she thanked the fans, but then she also said, I can't wait for y'all to see where she's going to go next. This is my thoughts on that. I feel as though what we're hearing right now, again, was already talked about last week or the week before or whatever. So they've known this already. I think that Patty probably gave Gal Gadot her blessings and say, look, even if I'm not here, I think you should continue on with the character. I think
Yeah.
should continue on. So you're not going to basically put that out. And then yesterday we actually get the news, or last night we get the news that they're parting ways with Wonder Woman 3. Again, they said Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. They didn't say that Wonder Woman 3 with Gal Gadot is not happening. They just said Wonder Woman 3 is not happening.
Yeah. And they didn't say Gal Gadot would no longer be Wonder
exactly.
Woman.
That was never mentioned.
That,
and if you look on her page, nothing's been said. She hasn't said anything. There's no press. She didn't respond. Nothing's basically been said. Exactly. So here's the thing. We have to basically wait and see. Just like even if they scrap The Man of Steel 2, they didn't necessarily say Henry Cavill is not going to be our Superman. Right? So wait. Everybody just wait it out. And that's just where I am. Yeah. And I'm waiting out to basically see. Because again,
we gotta cool the jets.
We definitely got to cool the jets. And let me tell you why they got to cool the jets, unless they have to, because I mean, damn it, next Tuesday, my statue comes in and I'm excited about it. So come on, man. I need Gadot to be still here because this statue is amazing. This piece is amazing. Look at that.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is stunning. It has 2 head sculpts, one a comic version and one with the likeness of Gal Gadot, and I want it. So I mean,
she's
again,
beautiful.
Yeah, like I still want her.
Is that the quarter scale? Is that the quarter scale or the one set?
It's the quarter scale Queen Studio.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
isn't
quarter
it?
scale Queen Studio statue. The base.
Look at the definition in her arm.
Yeah, look at that definition. Everything is basically there. It's amazing. It's an amazing piece. Look at that. That looks amazing. I mean, they put a lot into this piece.
Those guys at Queen's Studios, they are good.
Yep. Look at that base. It's amazing. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, gal. They gotta keep her, man. I mean, I'm just for me, I just think that they need to keep her, man, because she's definitely amazing.
So many people have just warmed to her so much. I mean, you just don't know how you can warm to a character enough. It's just
definitely.
I have no words.
None. We got 6 scale reviews. False hope has been the norm for the last 10 years for DC fans. It sucks, man. These characters deserve their due diligence. I agree. You're right on the nose, bro. Right on the nose, man. I definitely agree. Blitz 0065, you're right. Not completely serious, just not wacky or comedic. There is a thin line where they're just enough comic relief to lighten things up, but keep within that dark feeling. Yep. Definitely. I agree. Yep, I'm going to wait till next week to hear the official word. Yep, that's just basically where I feel right now. DTR, man, it seems like seems like it's more of a soft reboot because DC has been an overall mess and you kind of have to start from scratch. Yeah, that I definitely agree with. Dyson says smaller budgets on movies is the most powerful tool for a filmmaker. If they made Black Adam for less, Black Adam 2 would be a given. And that's the thing.
The writing would have to be better because then they wouldn't have enough budget for the special effects to carry the film. This is where it's at, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Shiny, beautiful statue, super beautiful statue. Also, they still haven't dropped our Wonder Woman 84 from Hot Toys yet. Yeah, I know that definitely hasn't dropped. So I don't know if we again have to basically see that could be around the corner though. That definitely got to be around the corner. But
certainly good.
I want to get your take on something. I want to talk about something. So we're going to move on to the collecting community really quick. So
some spice.
I want to get your take on this because you know how I basically felt about this show, but the figure to me looks amazing. So I want to get your thoughts. What do you think about this incredible, or basically the She-Hulk figure that we got? Who it definitely, the likeness looks exactly like Tatiana Maslany. It does. It looked like her. And I think overall, and the expression is pretty good. The sculpted hair is good. That body tone, like basically that new, this is definitely an upgrade. This is definitely a specialized body that they've actually used Fison, and it looks great. The tone and everything. What do you think about this figure?
I think it is very sleek. I think it's very sleek. I think they've upped the ante here with the seamless body. I think
Mhm.
it's beautiful, and it's just a shame that for the way I feel about the show, it's tainted how I see a beautifully executed figure.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I mean, her accessories, I think it was a couple of hands and just a phone. And I and I have to admit that that's how interesting they made her character. Her additional
Mhm.
accessories, just hands and a phone. And I think
Yep.
that, you know, like this is a Marvel Legends She-Hulk.
Mhm.
This is how I want my She-Hulk
Mhm.
personally.
Mhm.
This is what kind of TV show I would have wanted for the She-Hulk. So I have my Marvel Legends OG. Um, with this 1/6, you
I want to
cannot
see that again.
deny.
Put that up. Put that up again. Nice.
Like
Nice. Like
she's
that. It
she's
does. It
she's
looks.
gorgeous. Look at that
Yeah.
face,
Yeah.
And this
Nice.
one, it's sold out so quickly. You
Mhm.
can't get her anymore. You can't find her anywhere, especially not
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
And I think that with this with this 1/6 scale, I have to bury my dislike for the show and analyze this figure for what it is, and it
Mhm.
is stunning.
Mhm.
It is stunning, and I have to be impartial here because the way they've done the suit, I mean, she stands out from Hulk,
Mhm.
like the Endgame Hulk. She does.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
eye poppy. The tone of her skin is actually gorgeous. I love what they did with the color.
Yeah.
Um, I'm keen to see her movements in fixed poses, especially with the arms bent and the
Yeah.
knees bent. I want to see how the skin pops back in a straight stretch position, and hopefully it doesn't crease. It's
Yeah.
unlikely it will, but you never know with seamless
Mhm.
bodies.
Mhm.
Unless they made the seamless material here slightly thinner so that it was less likely to create those little ripples that you see sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but look, I can't deny it. She's very lovely, and the way that they did the sculpted hair,
Mhm.
it's good, and the head sculpt is
Mhm.
surprisingly immaculate. It looks exactly like the CGI version of
Yep.
her.
Yep. It
I'll say
does.
that. I'll,
It
I'll say
does.
that.
It
Yeah.
does. Somebody even said that they should have actually released a suited version of her as well, and I agree.
Oh yeah.
With her business
Yeah.
attire, for
Definitely.
that would have been decent. Like even have like a battle damage ripped up, version of the clothing.
I
But
think that would be good. Battle
yeah,
damage always looks awesome.
yeah, it definitely does. But yeah, definitely. I mean, again, I separated my thoughts about the show, and if we get a
Yeah.
chance to see
Have
her
to.
in a better situation, if going forward cinematically, if we get a chance to see her, and the thing is, the biggest thing is I wanted them to lean in on the intelligence of Jennifer Walters,
Yeah.
because she's an intelligent lawyer, and I thought that it was a missed opportunity. So I don't know.
Definitely.
um
Definitely.
what we're going to actually get from that, we just have to definitely wait and see. But yeah, the figure to me looks, and we got Kevin there, the figure to me looks good. I definitely think it's
And
worth
look,
getting.
it was a surprise.
Yeah.
It really was a surprise. And she
Yeah.
like they've got her height down. She's
Hmm.
absolutely gargantuous.
Yeah.
She's just a presence. Like if you pop her on your shelf in your detolf, however you want to display her,
Hmm.
she's gonna stand out. And it's what I like about this figure is that she does female figures a huge service in the
Hmm.
fact that on shelves there aren't a lot. There
Hmm.
aren't a lot. Star Wars is
Yeah.
they're starting to up the game here. We've got a tease of Padme finally coming out,
Yeah, that's
you
what
know, it's nice to have a differentiation of female and male characters that we can love. You don't
nice.
want to oversaturate. Obviously, I'm so anti-feminist, but
Yeah,
it's nice. It's a nice thing to see, definitely.
nice deviation there. I'm glad you basically brought that up,
Yeah.
because we are moving on to this now. We're moving on to the
Mm.
phase 2 collectibles from Attack of the Clone. And
Mm.
this is what they're basically mentioning. They're talking about basically we're going to get these figures soon. And if you look down below, it says coming soon, Mace Windu, Anakin Skywalker, Padme Amidala, and Super Battle Droid. So
So
this is,
good.
yeah. So now remember, Les, like a few years ago, they basically revealed the Padme that we saw at, San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm.
And it was Padme and Kit Fisto at that point.
It was
Um,
actually. Yes,
yeah,
it was.
yeah. And the Padme that we now you can clearly look at this particular version, even though it's shadow, and see that this version of Padme, the tailoring on this it doesn't look sloppy. It looks better, and
Mm.
we're potentially going to get a really decent head sculpt from this. But the surprise was the young Attack of the Clones version of Anakin as a Padawan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's my favorite version of the Anakin.
Wow.
Adamantly, I had a huge crush when this film came out on Hayden
Hayden Christensen.
Christensen.
Yeah.
I like, god damn, I went to see that movie. No joke. I saw Attack of the Clones in the cinemas, I reckon, about 4 times.
Yeah.
I was that enamored with it. I
Mm-hmm.
loved the film.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Hayden. I loved Natalie Portman. She's a great
Mm-hmm.
actress.
Yeah.
And I loved the story. Like, it held me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been head over heels for this film. I remember when the final trilogy of these prequels came out, and people were giving them shit left, right, and center, like couldn't please anyone. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Lael, something happened. Something happened in the multiverse. I don't know if we switched Earths, but
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, people loved the prequels. Star Wars Black Series, the 6-inch
Yeah.
figures started bringing out the Attack of the Clones figures.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I have like so many of the Jedi's. I've got
Yeah.
General Grievous as well.
Yeah.
Like, I love those figures.
Yep.
Um, and all of a sudden, people started buying them, and then they were
Mm-hmm.
hard to find. You
Mm-hmm.
can't find Mace Windu anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're just People loved it, and then people started saying more positive things about
Yeah.
the prequels, and I thought,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like the entire Star Wars fan base community have just done a complete 180,
Yep.
and now they love the prequels. And I was like, yes, I was right all along. They didn't suck too
Yeah.
badly,
Yeah. Like there's more of a resurgence for the prequels, and there's more of an
Yeah.
appreciation and respect for them.
Mm.
Especially now, considering the simple fact of, even based on what we got from the sequels. You know what I mean? Being a Star Wars
Yeah.
fan myself, a diehard Star Wars fan, I can
Oh.
appreciate what was, and I always tell people, regardless of what you basically think about the
Mm.
prequels, at least those films were cohesive, and they were cohesive, and I can understand the story going on. Whereas the prequels, it's just like they made it up as they can go. I mean, as
Mm.
the sequels, you know what I mean? So the prequels,
Yeah.
definitely gained a level of respect. A lot of people
Definitely.
basically, again, it's still divisive because you will still have
It
some
is.
people who don't really like or didn't really like it, but still,
Yeah.
there's still a lot to be said about it. And yeah, like these two coming out,
Mm.
and then it's going to be featured, which means I hope this means that we'll also get Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan.
Oh.
That would always be with the mullet. I hope we get that version too.
And
Um,
mullet, yes. Well, I mean, the
yeah.
thing is, we had Count Dooku,
Mm-hmm.
quite a while back, and I was
Yeah.
surprised that, the rest of the Attack of the Clones line were very slow to follow,
Mm-hmm.
because I, you know, I just the order in which they've come out, it's just been
Mm-hmm.
very sporadic,
Yeah.
and didn't really understand that. I mean, when Padme was first teased,
Yeah.
wow, I fell in love. I mean, the head sculpt wasn't great. It was very wide. Her jaw was very wide.
Yeah.
Um, but the fact that they've had some time to work on whatever issues they had, behind the scenes, whether it was licensing or whatever, they've had some time to reassess, take a step back, look at it again, and
Mm-hmm.
approach it with either fresh eyes or fresh concept, and fresh materials, possibly. So
Yeah.
I'm really optimistic, and I think everyone knows how I feel about the Nick Fury Samuel L. Jackson head sculpt. I love it.
Hmm.
And I'm really keen to see what they do with the Mace Windu head sculpt. I'm
Yeah.
keen to see if they can nail his likeness again in that character, being a younger Samuel L. Jackson,
Hmm.
obviously, but it's very exciting news. And the droid, I was
Super Battle
really
Droid.
surprised at that.
Yeah.
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 It's just like not
Yeah.
even Black Series have jumped on those guys yet. So
Hmm.
I'm really keen to see how they turn out.
And that's the thing is like during Sideshow's Con, I think 2 years ago now, or a year ago, pretty like 2 years or a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
they showed the battle droid and the super battle droid. They showed both. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
they
I
were
didn't
actually
see it.
featured doing it. Yeah. So we
Oh,
thought at that time, like even with the
yeah.
first phase during the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary,
Mm.
during celebration, I thought that they would have actually done it, but it was all clones. They had basically started showing us clone figures and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. But knowing that they also made the announcement about a phase two for Attack of the Clones, then yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, all right. I saw this morning. I didn't. And now here's the only thing is, like I said, and I made this comment this morning. I'm like, okay, as
Yeah.
much as excited as I am about this right now, I just feel as though there's so much going on right now in the collecting community. It's like, yo, like
Mm.
literally, we got to get through these releases first before I can even actually gain a level of excitement for this, even though I am extremely excited about it. Is just like also don't show me this picture. You know what I mean? Don't promise me a good time and then you don't deliver. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's just the way I see with this. So we
But
we
it's
we
also it's
definitely.
also a bit of a cruel tease, Lael, because are they a year away? Are they 6 months away? Are they 2 years away? You know, like it's torture for me with the Peacemaker figure. I mean, you're
Hmm.
giving a
Hmm.
girl a hard time over here, So I when it comes to the amount of time that it takes from announcement
Yeah.
to pre-order to shipping and to having it in hand, you're looking at like 4 phases of just trying to be patient and
Yeah.
not locking yourself in a room for days out of
Yeah.
pure frustration.
Yep.
So I think that comes hand in hand with really incredible announcements like this. And it's
Yep.
just, you don't want to peak too soon, I suppose. You just want to be
Yeah.
patient and
Yeah.
ride the waves until you hit the
And
shoreline.
you're
So
exactly right. You're exactly right. But I know there's going to be a lot, including me. I am not going to lie. I am super duper excited about this. And others. I mean, because right now, like, we are literally in a 1/6 storm right now. Like, really,
there's
they
so
look
many.
so many. Like right now, like I got hit up for my hunters coming in. Also,
Oh,
finally they're releasing the Batman Begins figure that we haven't seen production photos on either yet, but
no,
they're
no, they've
charging
kept that
now.
very quiet.
Yeah, and I can't wait to basically see that. That's going to be interesting. Oh, we got a
Mm.
$19 super chat by my guy,
Jonathan
Jonathan
King.
King, the God himself. Prequels all day, every day. Give me Mace and Padway.
Yeah,
Yo, hey,
100%.
Jonathan. If you see at the bottom of this list, it says Mace, so Mace is coming soon. So we got our wish, bro. I know it took us a long time, bro. We talk about this all the time. It took us a while, but we finally got it. And we just have to see where it goes from here, man.
But
Ah,
Lael, can I just say
yeah.
that the woman in me wants a Padme with all her outfits, right?
I'm,
And all
I'm
the
with you. I'm
and
with
all the
you.
and all the head sculpts to match. That
I'm with
the
you.
one the
I'm
one
with
in,
you.
and look, I know this is an Attack of the Clones, but Phantom Menace when she's in that white gown at the end at that
Hmm.
parade,
Yes.
holy shit! And she's holding that ball. Oh my
I
god.
want I want the
Oh my
outfit when
god.
she's on Theed, when she basically has like the bulbs, like the all red, and her face is painted.
Oh,
That's one of the most iconic
it's
wardrobe out like fits that she
iconic.
has. Like
That
literally, if
headpiece.
they gave them all to us, people would buy it. If we're gonna buy every layer as much as people want Padme to put those out, like literally, I would buy it. Like I
They would
would
fly off
even
the shelves.
give us
I
the
would.
pregnant
I would.
Padme from Revenge of the Sith. I would take that
Yes.
all day. Like literally.
Oh.
I'm with
Even
you.
look, even in Phantom Menace when she's on Tatooine, it's so simple,
Hmm.
but her hair is just
Yeah,
pure elegance. And
yeah,
in Attack of the Clones when they were on Naboo,
yeah, yeah,
and her and Anakin were at that lake, and her dress,
yeah. Keep going, keep going. I'm still here. I'm just fixing this
her
camera. Yeah.
her dress was absolutely show-stopping. And the what she was wearing when they got married, oh my God. Like it was absolutely beautiful. The wardrobe, like I went to the Star Wars exhibition in Sydney when it was on a couple of years ago with Mike, and they had her wardrobe there. They had all her dresses, and I fangirled over that shit so hard. Like my my shoes would have blown off. It was so it was so incredible. Like just like and it wasn't just her wardrobe. It was it was the Jedi's and stuff. But a Jedi's a Jedi. They all pretty much wear the same thing half the time. But her dresses, wow. If if Hot Toys released a 1/6 kit of Padme, all the different head sculpts, all the different bodies with all the different clothes, just like a freaking like massive box set of these things.
Yeah.
I
It would
I
go
would be
off. I mean,
all in.
people would buy it. That people
I
would
would
basically buy it. If you give us, even if you know what, this is what I want, and I've been asking for this for a while. I even want a young version of Anakin back from Attack of the Clones. Give us the young version of Anakin. Give us the young version of Padme at that point. And we already have, we already basically have ourselves young Obi-Wan.
yes.
We have a Qui-Gon Jinn. We have
We do.
Maul. Just follow that journey. I would definitely love to see it. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
if you're diving into this again, and we're coming up on the 20th anniversary pretty soon
Yes.
of, Revenge of the Sith. You know what I mean? That's going to be coming up soon. I mean, we got Return of the Jedi. That's going to be, I cannot wait because I will be in London in April. I am so excited. But we had
Oh, how
that actually coming up.
exciting.
Yes, I cannot wait. So that's actually coming up. But if you get like, I can't, like, literally, I can't wait for all this stuff. It's here. So why not just give it to us? But again, my thing is, we've seen this before though, Les. We've seen what
Yes.
they've shown us these figures. We've seen this, right? And they
Yes.
actually always tease us and they don't deliver. That's why I was talking about it earlier. On Rally Show. By the way, tonight, just letting everybody in, tune in tonight at 10 o'clock. I will be back on for a very special episode of The Corner. Me and Mr. Justin himself will be on. So Justin's Collectibles will be on, and we'll be actually talking about that tonight, 10 o'clock. I will put that out pretty soon, shortly. But yes, this, like, literally, don't tease us with this. Give it to us while it's available. Go ahead and give it to us. So
I
don't know.
The deep sighs.
I don't know.
And I'll say to Mike, look, I mean, if Hot Toys make this set with Padme, I'd say, look, Mike, you don't have to get me birthday or Christmas presents for like 4 years. I will freaking have this freaking box on my shelf for my life.
Right, right.
And when I die, bury it with me.
just give me the whole. Oh, because you know what? I never thought about that, Les. What if it is a box set?
Don't do that.
What if it is a box set? I never really thought about that. What if this is a box set? What if this is basically a set, a 2-pack? Anakin and Padme. Yo, like literally.
Oh my God.
That would go off. If that is a 2, that would actually go off. If they did this as a 2-pack, if they did this,
like a love set, and they could release it on Valentine's Day. Booyah.
Yo, if they did that, like that would literally go off. Take notes, because again, they've been very successful with that. They were successful with the Boba Fett, the Robo Boba 2-pack. They were actually successful. Yeah, the Nightmare Batman 2. Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Like they can actually do it, and I think it would actually go off. Now, here's the thing, though, because you were doing it the right way. Because it's not like you're actually giving us a separate Anakin, like the light side Anakin we got, and then you throw it in Pat. No, you're giving us 2 figures that people would want, and they would get.
Because you can't have one without the other. That's a bit hard.
But I also understand because I think shiny said, I hope not.
Oh, you thought, hope not.
But I mean, it's just throwing out there. If they did that, you never know. But
People's
if they
choice.
don't, it's still cool. I think, and I'm
Yeah.
not, and we're not saying that they will, but I'm saying it would be cool if they did. But I know they're going to give us a Padme, so we'll see how that
Yes.
goes. We'll definitely
Yeah.
see how it goes. Anyway,
Definitely.
yes, it's
Jeez.
good time to
many
be a
drops.
collector right now. So
Yes.
it's so much to basically go over. It has been a great show. I'm definitely excited about it. Until next week. Now, Les, are you going to let the people know when we're going to do the mental health show?
Yes. So I'm planning to do that in January.
Okay.
Still need to figure out some availabilities
Okay.
with John, Ian
Okay.
Logan, but mental health stream will be both myself, you, Reviews with Rich, and John from Ian Logan.
Okay.
We're going to sit down, have a chat about hobby versus addiction. So it
Mhm.
should be an interesting conversation, and we want to keep it light. We want to keep it, you know, nice. We don't
It
want
needs
to
to be addressed.
bleak about it, but
It
is
needs to be
something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, it
You know,
definitely needs to be
it's
addressed.
absolutely. I spoke to a gentleman a couple of years ago who bought far too many figures, didn't focus on his priorities, and ended up losing his, well, wife and his house.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's something to be addressed, and we've got to knuckle down, get into it, because I think, you know,
Yeah.
it's tough for some people during Christmas, during this time of year, but I think it's also very tough post.
Mhm.
So it will be an interesting discussion for sure.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And we'll get past, like, you're doing it right. We're doing it right after the holidays, because that's going to be the best time, because again,
It
people are
is.
dealing with it right now. So it's to kind of give people a
Absolutely.
refresher and a reboot. So yeah. Great
Exactly.
time to do that. If you haven't already, everybody out there, you see this scrolling at the bottom, Marvel Less on IG and YouTube. Make sure you do so. Great content always. And make sure that you are subscribing and hitting those like buttons on every video that she basically drops. Come on, you have to do that. So Les, as always, thank you. Rich, shout out to Rich too. That is our other partner in crime. Rich, we will see you next. Get well, bro. We can't wait to see you next time. What's going on with me tonight? Of course, you already know. I'll actually be on the show with my guy, Brother Cousins, for the best of the best. So we'll be having a conversation there. And then also 10 o'clock tonight, join us for another episode of The Corner, where we are going to deep dive with these releases as far as the reveal of these Attack of Clones. Where are they going to go next? We'll never know. We just have to basically wait and see. So it'll be me, myself, Justin's collectibles or Justin's collection. And I don't know, probably somebody else. We'll just have to basically see. But yeah, tonight, tune in 10 o'clock tonight for that live show. We try to keep the corner minimal. We don't do, a big, I don't like doing like a, hour long, 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It might do that. We'll just have to wait and see. But yes, Les, as always a pleasure having you here. And always our show is what it is, an afternoon show, an evening show. It's always good to basically have that. So thank you for being here. And everybody out there for tuning in. Tune in next week. We will basically be back for another conversation. Who knows? Probably more depressed than ever, because number one, they keep on doing these releases and people are broke right now. So we just have to wait and see. But anyway, thank you. Till next week. So long, everybody. Take care. Be peaceful. Be kind to each other, especially amongst the collecting community, especially amongst content creators. Be kind to each other. Number one, basically be kind to each other, because again, we are out here for the same goal, and it's to grow the community and make sure that it's sustainable and that we can all fellowship together. It's no use in cutting each other down, no use in backbiting. It's always good to stick together and make this community better, this space better, for everybody out there who appreciate us, and they appreciate us, they respect us for what we do and what we deliver. So please make sure that we are supporting each other as always. So anyway, thank you so much for being out there. And again, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.